We thought we'd be talking about another topic, but now this. And again, I mean, we've gone through this in November of 2009.
Yeah, again, none of us know all the details. I did a hearing with Joe Lieberman just 2 years ago on the threat to military bases from domestic terrorists, from homegrown terrorists. And so that's always out there, especially after what happened with Major Hassan at Fort Hood. But no one, as far as I know, knows exactly what this is. I've heard the same reports you have, that it is soldier on soldier, and that there's one confirmed dead. But again, this is secondhand. But I'm hearing the same thing you are from my sources.
You wonder though, how of all places, you think there's certain places that are supposed to be particularly safe. Grade schools is one, and military installations is another.
Well, again, I don't want to prejudge this, but the hearing that we had, we got information, evidence, very significant concerns within the military about people in the military who did have violent tendencies, who did have terrorist inclinations, and were in the military and were not being removed.
Why weren't they being removed?
Part of it, I think, is political correctness, to be honest with you. So I was very concerned. Senator Lieberman and I were both very concerned about this. But there are a number of people in the military, and we had one military official say that's what kept him awake at night, was the possibility of another attack at a military base by homegrown Islamic terrorists. Now, again, that may not be the case here, but I'm saying that is a real concern.
All right. Well, for all we know, this could be a domestic situation, a husband and wife both on the same base or something, and it could be that. But it does. I mean, you do raise concern when you tell me that there's a real fear on bases of homegrown terrorism on these bases.
And also, a lot of the security at the base is to keep people from coming in. I mean, if someone is on the base and they're smart enough, they could get access to a weapon. I mean, that's there's not the same type of security, whether there should be or not, toward a military person as there would be toward a civilian. The person who's there on the base and wants to get something done probably has the capacity to get it done.
Are you allowed to have weapons on these bases?
No, you're not. But I'm just saying. Well, again, it depends. It depends on the rank. Depends on the category. Yeah.
Well,
obviously,
we also
MPs have to have them, for instance.
We also had the situation at the Naval Yard here not too long ago, about 8 blocks from here, where security was lax and someone was able to get in and assemble a gun and kill a number of people.
Yeah. No, again, if somebody is in the military and they know what they're doing, they can probably find a way to get it done on the base if they want to do it. And again, you're right. We have no idea. This could be a domestic situation. It could be a terrorist situation. I heard before they were ruling out terrorism. I don't know how you could rule that out at this early stage, but again,
I don't know how you can rule out anything.
Anything in or out. I agree with you.
I don't know how you can rule out just one suspect, 2 suspects, whether someone's. We've heard somebody was down. We didn't know if that was killed. We know if the shooter or not the shooter. We've heard so many different things right now.
There's concern about a second shooter also. There's those stories.
Yeah. All we know is that we have an active situation, a very dangerous situation going on right now, and everyone is obviously terrified and working very hard at Fort Hood to try to neutralize the situation. Use their term.
Yes, and I would say that one thing they haven't learned from Fort Hood is that when something like this does happen, they can respond and do it very effectively.
Indeed. Congressman, if you'll please stick around, sir.
Sure, Greta. Thank you.
We have much more on this. Breaking news. That's next.
And Peter King now, Republican congressman out of New York, chairman of the Homeland Security Subcommittee on Counterintelligence and Terrorism, also a member of the Intel Committee as well. And, sir, good morning to you.
Thank you, Bill.
I don't know what you're picking up there in Washington, but the first thought must be with the families of the victims and those who live and work around the post at Fort Hood, sir.
Yeah, Bill, absolutely. I mean, this is a terrible tragedy. It'll be a terrible tragedy in any case. But the fact that it happened at Fort Hood, where the wounds are still so raw, where the families have gone through so much, and now to live through it again, and to have, again, 3 more innocent people killed, and of course the soldier who took his own life. It's an absolute tragedy, and really our hearts have to go out to all the personnel at the base and their families, relatives, and friends.
Yeah, Ivan Lopez, age 34, married twice, I believe, 2 children, had been deployed to Iraq for a period of about 4 months, which would have been pretty much during the drawdown process for that war. And a lot of people have already talked about mental illness. And again, I mention that because we don't really know, sir.
Right.
But we know a lot of people who do come home suffer from this. And I just, from your perspective, how have we done in addressing that?
Bill, I don't think we've done enough. In fact, I've been working on this issue with Congressman Steve Israel and also actually people in Major League Baseball for that matter, try to set up funding so that the private sector can become more involved. So we can have private organizations working with the military to try to help veterans as they return home. There's varying counts of the amounts of suicide that are committed daily by veterans. There's also, we know the hundreds of thousands of troops coming home do have PTSD. And my experience is that that they don't receive the treatment quickly enough, that it's not sophisticated enough. And I know this is a difficult area, but I think there should be more research, more money put into it, and there should be more personnel applied, because
I think
this is a real issue.
Overall, a lot of people would not disagree with that assessment. But I just want to walk with a little bit of caution here, because we really don't know in the end what the exact condition was here. We do know he brought his own gun on post, and that is not allowed. What is your sense of security for the 50,000 who live and work on that post every day?
Well, as far as terrorism is concerned, we have improved it. For instance, you had Major Hassan in 2009, but then in July, I believe, of 2011, we did stop an attack at Fort Hood. It was a Private First Class Abdo. He was stopped from carrying out an attack. So with terrorism, we've done a better job. As far as this type of violence, this type of attack carried out inside with no apparent terrorist link, and we're not certain yet, but it does not appear there's a terrorist link. I think we have to look into the whole issue of security. Do we need more military police? Should there be tighter screening as people are coming onto the base? My understanding is that there's really not that type of tight security, and it's tough to do in a base this large, but I think that's going to have to be increased.
I think a lot of people would not disagree with that. Peter King, let's see what changes are made after this. Thank you for your time, sir, from the Hill.
Bill, thank you very much.
Good to have you back. Martha, what's next?